Well, this is an unusual week. Some of you may have noticed when you said hello that you were saying hello to a few new faces. Well, that's because today we're blending sanghas. We're sitting, those of you who are part of the daily sit, we're also going to be sitting with the folks from the householder retreat. They're joining us for the entire week. And so this is an unusual week also because every day this week we'll have a short talk followed by a guided meditation. There will be no Q&A on Thursday. And instead of a silent sit on Friday, there will also be a short talk and a short guided meditation. All right. So the topic for this week is energy, right effort, that is. And for you regular folks at the Daily Sit, next week we'll start back again with the precepts, okay? This is not the first time that you've heard this topic, energy. Energy, or virya as it's called in Pali, is one of the paramis that we discussed last year. It's one of the core teachings and found in several Buddhist lists, including the Eightfold Path and the Five Indriyas and the Four Great Endeavors. It's this last one that we're going to talk about this week, that we're going to explore. The Four Great Endeavors or exertions. Endeavors, exertions, is another way of using the word energy. It's energy. And energy is a resource. We use energy every day in everything we do, everything we say, everything we think, from watching TV to meditating. It is indeed important, and it's often overlooked and not deeply considered directly. If or since we're going to be exerting energy, let's perhaps be a bit more conscious, a bit more deliberate about how we expend it and where we expend it. How much energy do we really need to use in whatever way we're using it, and to what end? Now, again, since we are using energy all the time, the beauty of this consideration is that it can be raised anytime and anywhere. Considering this line of questioning, we can begin to see for ourselves if we are using our finite supply of energy wisely. That is, for the good, for letting go of the unwholesome, unhealthy habits or patterns, or for bringing forth wholesome, healthy ones that support our well-being. The answer lies inside. It lies in how we feel. In this respect, talking about using our energy wisely in the service of our well-being is not off topic from any other topic we will ever talk about. Are we using the resource of energy to let go of unwise and unhealthy patterns? Or are we using the energy of resource to bring about ease of well-being? Good questions. Now, according to the Four Great Endeavors, energy is used wisely, is of benefit to us both on and off the cushion. We learn to apply energy or effort such that when the wholesome is around, well, we learn to keep it around, right? And when the wholesome is not around, well, we learn to bring it forward. We learn to bring it around. Now, when the unwholesome is around, then we have to learn to find a way to release it, right? And when the unwholesome is not around, well, we learn how to not invite it back in. Right? These are the moves. These are the energetic moves that we're going for in practice. And each day this week, we will spend time on one of these. But let's now briefly take a look at each of them. First, When the wholesome is around, keep it around. Now just imagine that you wake up and you're in a good mood. You're looking forward or even happy because later today you're going to see an old friend you haven't seen in a while. How might you encourage this good mood or these happy or joyful feelings to stick around? Right? It feels good inside to think about, I'm going to see my friend later for lunch. I haven't seen her in a while. I want to check in, see how it's all going. What a lovely thing. How might I keep it around? Well, I'd suggest actually that the first order of business is to notice that we're feeling good. Because often this is the place that we miss. We miss feeling good. Right? We just blow by that and we tend to focus a little bit more on the negative. So noticing when the good is around is a really useful observation. So feeling good, we want to notice the signs of feeling good. The signs. Let's form the intention actually to notice, to pay attention. So let's practice pausing and checking in and just seeing how we feel any time of the day. Breathe. See how you feel. Feel how this feeling of happiness feels. Like, what does it feel like? Do you know? Can you sense the clues that you're feeling good, that feeling good is present? Like that maybe you're smiling or humming to yourself. Maybe you just feel a little light, a little uplifted, a little buoyed. Maybe the body feels a little bit more relaxed, but it's still very alert, very keen on what's going on. Now, having noticed that, now, can you wonder how to keep those feelings going? Right? How to breathe with them and just keep them going. Perhaps let that thought just pass through the mind periodically, just to remind yourself, oh, yes, this lovely thing is going to be happening. Next, when the wholesome is not around, bring it around. Now let's imagine that you're moving through your day as usual. Nothing special, just running on autopilot, getting things done, no great shakes. Now in this mode, we might not be aware of any particular feelings. Nothing bad is happening, but nothing particularly good is happening either. We might not be aware though, unless we pause and check in. Good to notice. If this can be noticed, then we might deliberately expand on the awareness that nothing bad is happening and breathe with that. Like, it's all good. It's all good. And take that awareness in and feel the freedom of no stress and no struggle. This is important because this is also how the organism learns. Oh, no stress and no struggle feels like this. Wow. That might even feel pretty good right there. Or we might deliberately bring a wholesome feeling forward. Perhaps sense into the contentment and ease that's happening right alongside it and breathe with that. Let that experience expand, the experience of contentment, non-stress. And again, breathe with this and let that be savored. Oh my. Oh my, what a lovely thing. Next is when the unwholesome is around, find a way to release it. Now, suppose negative feelings are really up right now. We just had an unpleasant conversation with someone and left it feeling tight and angry or confused. And let's say we notice that our mind just keeps replaying the conversation in our head. And once this is noticed, can we interrupt the chatter? Deliberately interrupt the negative spiral by landing in whatever else we're doing. Right? Just notice how your body's standing and breathe there for a moment. See if you can breathe and relax some of the tension. Let it unwind from the body, from the heart, and from the mind. The conversation's over. It happened. can we now practice resisting, not throwing another log on the fire of our feelings? Can we restrain the impulse? Just learn how to interrupt the negative. This is good practice. Because often you'll notice how a number of us tend to lean into the habits of worry, for example, unnecessarily, right? How might we interrupt that? What a relief. And finally, when the wholesome is not around, well, don't invite it in. So suppose unpleasant feelings haven't happened, aren't arising, aren't present. Maybe again, we're just tooling along in our day and there's no strong negative feelings, maybe even still no strong positive feelings. Can we pause and just notice, consciously become aware of the absence of stress and not invite it in? Be really deliberate to not invite it in. In fact, can we bask in the noticing of the absence of the negative emotions, right? And feel the less stress of that, right? And this resisting is good practice. And this resisting is one of the skills we want to develop in learning how to not reawaken an upsetting thought because the mind is idle for a few minutes. Right? Very practical, very practical. Now, as you can see, that the pivotal move here is noticing how we are feeling, and then breathing and adjusting accordingly, deliberately orienting toward less stress, more ease of well-being. This is what each of the moves does. It moves us in this direction. It rebalances us, right? It rebalances us. What is needed to do that? So since energy is being used in everything we do, how can we use our energy wisely in the service of our well-being? For those of you who have been studying the precepts with us, this week consider whether energy is being used in the service of skillfulness, right? Of less suffering and more ease of well-being. We can feel this, we can feel when suffering is present and when it's absent. We can feel when well-being is present or absent. These are observable signs. Learn to read the signs. Let them give us feedback so that we can make more skillful choices, more skillful moves. When we're about to reach into the refrigerator for a snack, and we can learn to pause and just drop in the question, do we need it or just want it? When we can wonder for ourselves, how is it feeling in here right now? Hungry, bored, stressed, right? No judgment, just pause and check in. Pausing right here and asking ourselves these questions raises our awareness and gives us a chance to decide how to use our energy wisely in the service of not causing harm or of causing at least as little as possible. Each time, consider this, each time we deliberately sit down to meditate, whether we're alone or with others, alone together, we can pause and notice our intention to use energy wisely. The whole enterprise of meditating, of mindfulness meditation practice, is using energy in the service of letting go of unwholesome mind states and cultivating wholesome ones. Each time we come together as a group like this, we create actually a field of wholesome energy. And we can bask in that energetic field of wholesomeness and let the whole organism receive those good vibes. And I encourage you to do that, even while we're meditating. Periodically, just drop that awareness in. We're in really good company, and that's a great blessing. So noticing is always the first step in the process. Pause and check in many times a day, many times on the cushion. Pause and check in to see how you're feeling. How are you using your energy? Is it in the service of letting go of the unwholesome, of the unhealthy habits or mind states? Or is it in the service of your well-being? Adjust accordingly. This is within our power. We can do this. It's for our welfare. And with that, I thank you for your kind attention. If you will now, let's turn these kind eyes toward the body, and if you're comfortable and feel able to, gently lift the arms over the head, clasp one wrist, lean over to that side, take a nice full inhalation there, opening up the whole of the interior. And a nice full exhalation right there, softening and settling all the way down through the torso into the base onto the ground. Now come on back up through center, clasp the other wrist, lean over to the other side. Take a nice full inhalation there, opening up the whole of the interior. Nice full exhalation, softening, widening, and settling all the way down through the torso into the base onto the ground. Come back to center, release the arms and hands. Bring one hand down to the opposite thigh if you can. Come into the twist. Use the other arm to support the twist and take a nice full inhalation in that twist. And a nice full exhalation in that twist. And let that exhalation settle all the way down into the base of the body, onto the ground. Release that twist, come on back over to the other side, opposite hand on the opposite thigh, use the other arm to stabilize. Nice full inhalation, nice full exhalation in the twist. Now come on back to center, release that. Maybe roll the shoulders around, roll them backwards, roll them forwards, shake them out. Let the tension go. And then just roll the head around a bit. And you might just imagine that the head is moving through water. And let's just make head circles in one direction, 3 in one direction. And then pause, breathe, and 3 in the other direction. Now just gently rock and wobble the head around just in a lovely way that feels good, like it's just softening and opening the back of the neck and head. And slowly come on into stillness. And feel for the middleness of the posture, the sits bones against the cushion or the chair. Feel the feet on the floor or the cross of the legs, and let the attention linger down at the base of the body with the exhalations, and feel the settling. And if you haven't already, you might gently close the eyes and let go of the outside world, and squarely turn the attention inside into the interior. Feel how with each inhalation the body opens up, and with each exhalation the body softens and settles with gravity down to the ground. Soften the gaze and kindly watch over the settling process. Now, very deliberately invite a bit of kindness into the field. And breathe with that experience of kindness and very deliberately notice if there's any busyness in the mind, let it be like clouds in the sky floating by. And meanwhile, there's this experience of sitting here, breathing and orienting toward unwinding from stress and tension. breathing and letting go of stress, breathing with ease of well-being. Now, for the last 5 minutes of the practice, just settle back a little bit more, get comfortable, and drop in the awareness that you're sitting here in good company, being held in a field of goodwill, and let the whole of the organism receive that good food